After many attack and spewed nonsense by one Dementia Joe on more than half the country,
Kill the monster!
Obama's had enough. Basically telling Joe, stop the shit, we're going to lose.
Snap out of it!
Oh, really now?
What?
I'm Josh Borgonzo, and this is What's Next. Good Friday, everyone. Jazz Borgonzo here. Another episode of What's Next, your daily dose. Hope you guys are doing good on this Friday. Well, as we close out the week, we are just days away from the midterm elections, and of course, what everyone is saying, from polls to just your normal Joe and Jane, that the Republicans are going to win heavily in the House and regain the Senate. But you know it's getting bad when some of your own are turning against you. Hence, one Barack Obama, yes, former President Barack Obama himself, is telling Joe Dementia, cut the shit out. We're going to lose. Let's take a look. This comes out of Breitbart. Obama warns demonizing opponents leads to quote-unquote violence, which it really doesn't, as Biden calls Republicans threat to democracy. We're a republic. Former President Barack Obama warned Democrats not to demonize their political opponents Wednesday, even as President Joe Dementia delivered a shitty speech trashing Republicans, tying in last week's assault on Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. Obama told in a rally in Phoenix, which of course, as we all know, Carrie Lake will become the governor, the Savage Queen herself, next governor of Arizona, that demonizing opponents with the over-the-top rhetoric could result in, quote, physical violence. Not really. The one thing is clear, is that his increasing habit of demonizing political opponents, or just yelling and thinking, not just I disagree with someone, but that they're evil and that they're wrong. That creates a dangerous, quote-unquote, climate. How dare you? And when we have politicians and elected officials in leadership positions who continue to promote the over-the-top rhetoric or make light of it, more people are going to get butthurt. Obama didn't specifically mention Dementia, his former vice president. Biden gave a speech in Union Station Thursday, which of course he reprised some of his communistic attacks on more than half the country, and of course casting Republicans as extremists and dangerous to quote-unquote fake democracy. I'm not going to go over the rehash nonsense. Let's see, of course, yada, 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 attack on Trump, blah, 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 blah. Biden ignored the political violence that was used by the left to attack former President Trump and his supporters. Here's some of the highlights. Violent attacks by the left-wing activists on Trump supporters leaving a rally in California in June of 2016. Riots in November 2016, Democratic-run cities, as Trump was announced the winner of the election. Riots in D.C. during the inauguration of Trump in January 2017. Violent rhetoric at a women's march, which of course it really wasn't. You basically denigrated and slammed half the women in the country. Threats against Trump supporters throughout the Trump presidency, including Madonna's, I think, about burning down the White House. Blowing up the White House. The shooting and wounding in 2017 of Republican members of Congress in a baseball field by crazed left-wing gunmen. The Summer of Love. Yes, you know those wonderful riots led by Black Lives Matter and Antifa. Of course, $5 billion in damages, over 24 cities burned. Threats of rioting prior to the 2020 presidential election, forcing businesses in Democratic-run cities to board up their windows. The attempted stabbing of New York Republican gubernatorial Representative Lee Zeldin at a campaign rally. The alleged murder of a teenager in September. A North Dakota man said he suspected the boy was a Republican. It wasn't alleged, it was true. The vicious beating of a volunteer for Senator Marco Rubio in Florida, man who said Republicans were not allowed in the area. The alleged biting of a supporter in Republican gubernatorial candidate Tudor Dixon versus Governor Whitmer in Michigan. Excuse me. Death threats last week against Republican gubernatorial nominee, State Senator Darren Bailey in Illinois. A physical attack on New Hampshire Republican nominee Senate Don Bolduc by a local libertarian. The attempted assassination of Justice Brett Kavanaugh following the leaked draft of the Supreme Court Dobbs decision overturning Roe v. Wade. Yeah, how about that? The firebombing and targeting of pregnancy centers, which of course were facts, in Catholic churches by pro-abortion activists in the wake of the Dobbs decision. In September remarks, Biden said that Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremist threat to the very foundations of our republic. He actually mentioned republic. Shocker. and that Republican Party that supported Donald Trump was a threat to the country. Obama, who once claimed that his own political opponents were making common cause with the enemies of America because they opposed his nuclear deal with Iran, also warned against the erosion of just basic civility and democratic norms in America today. My thoughts. That's a hefty list. And of course, there were plenty more. But it's lovely how that when it comes to so-called extremism by the right, we're all being lumped in with Alex Jones. All of us. Every single conservative, every single libertarian, every single moderate Democrat who said, you know what? Yeah, Joe, you're demented, is labeled. When you have one of your own, Obama says, yeah, you know what? You need to cut this shit back because, quote unquote, it could lead to violence. Well, no, it could lead to butthurt feelings and pearl clutching and panties bunching and rectum clinching. That is what it leads to. And of course, Karens in the cul-de-sac. But at the end of the day, Obama knows the writing on the wall. And the red wave is coming. Now, how big of a wave? We don't know. But we do know this. Republicans are going to take back Congress. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more just like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And once again, Joe is demented. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.